Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another Chit Chat and Chill. Just gonna give it a second. How are you all doing this evening? Thank you.
Good.
Tito, you look
Life
way
is
too
good.
serious.
How are
Hmm?
you?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, so we talking about tonight the slap her around the world. Um, last night at the
Literally.
Oscars. Yes, slap, 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 slap. What did the five fingers say to the face? Ricochet,
Yeah, right.
slap. Jeez. Um, got to talk about it. I mean, there's a few of us who are pro will, or there's a few of us who are pro will. There's a few of us who are pro, well, maybe just one of us who are for will, and I don't know. I don't know how the rest of this will shake out, but I stand with Chris Rock, so that's all I will say. But we'll get started here in a second. I felt like when I was looking at the commentary online, there were like evenly split with my people that I follow and that follow me, with like if people were like in agreement with Will or if they were in agreement with Chris Rock. So I figured it's worth the conversation to just try to understand both points of view, because I'm definitely like struggling to understand the other side. So I just want to understand from at least Tito's point of view. I know that you support or that you were for what Will did, and then just see how this conversation shakes out. I guess I'm not really positive on Jeff or Shayla's point of view, so we could just talk about it. So who wants to start?
I can start.
I already said I stand with Chris Rock, so you know where I stand. I don't have to start, but we know
No.
what happened. So just to you want to summarize real quick, or you want me to summarize?
Yeah, you summarize. Go ahead, summarize.
So the Oscars was on last night. Chris Rock was on stage doing his thing as a comedian. He made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, saying that something about I'll see you in G.I. Jane 2, and she made a face like, and then Will Smith was sitting next to her and laughed. Then I guess caught wind that his wife wasn't too thrilled with the joke, and then got up, walked on stage, and slapped Chris Rock across the face. So it's pretty funny overall. Overall, it was funny. And then he walked away, then sat down and started shouting, and all this nonsense ensued. So I'll just give that background.
So,
So now
First of all, I just want to let all y'all know to keep his wife's name out your bleeping mouth. Will might be watching. You don't want to get slapped.
did you add him? Okay, no, you didn't. Okay, good. No, you didn't add him.
whatever.
Oh man.
That was
I
ridiculous.
was gonna tell you. So like I said, I'm in agreement with Will in a way, but I understand why you wouldn't be. Like I said, if you said something about my wife that offended my wife, you gotta catch these hands. I might have waited. I might have walked backstage and waited till you walked off stage, and you might have fell back on stage after I hit you. But it wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have just walked up to you and slapped you and walked away. You would have had to. You would have had to take something. But I understand that if you humiliate my wife in front of her peers and the world, now you got to be humiliated in front of your peers and the world. So, it was, every action has an equal reaction, so he, that was the equal react, to what Chris said. So yeah, I don't blame Will, but could he have handled it a different way? Yeah. But in the moment when you look at your wife and you see her, you got to make a decision. Am I sleeping on the couch tonight, getting a hotel room? Or I'm going to go up here and be the hero tonight. And Will was the hero because Jada was real happy with the hood coming, with West Philly coming out of Will. So Will was her champion last night. So that's all that mattered.
I just was really irritated by it. I thought it was over the top and unnecessary. I, heard the joke, and my first thing was I love the movie G.I. Jane, and that's a compliment to me. Jada Pinkett should be thrilled to be compared to Demi Moore in that movie, because she was a badass Navy SEAL. Okay, yes, she was bald, But to say, okay, you're going to be in G.I. Jane 2, I'm sorry, that was a compliment. And she still got mad. But I'm sick of this miss, honestly. Jada Pinkett just rubs me the wrong way. She puts all her business out there and then gets mad when people talk about it. Get over yourself. And then you get mad. You're at the Oscars. You're live. It's Chris Rock on stage. You're in the front row. You're fair game. So whatever he says, get over it. There's nothing any comedian can say to me at a comedy show where I would be like, David, or tell my husband, you have to defend my honor. Never, never. I cannot imagine anything a comedian could say that would make me be like, you need to fight him. For what? For what purpose?
Oh, go ahead.
That's just me. That's all I was saying. You could go ahead.
You shouldn't have to get him to respond, because as soon as somebody makes fun of my wife's appearance in any way, I don't care how you're doing it. I don't care if it's funny. I don't care if you think it's funny. I don't care if everybody else thinks it's funny. You're talking about my wife's appearance. So now it's not even about her. It's about you and me.
Even at a comedy show?
You know I'm sitting here and you're talking now to me because you know that's my wife. You have no right to do that. So regardless of whether it was a joke, whether he wrote it, whether it was a teleprompter, he picked it and he said it. Therefore, you have to deal with the repercussions for your actions. Now, you can disagree or agree with how it was handled. Doesn't really matter, but it has to be handled, in my opinion. You can't just let that go. Because if he lets it go, then the whole world is making fun of him for being a chump for not doing anything about it.
No one would have. You think that's what would have happened as an alternative?
No, because
people would have just laughed. People would have just laughed and moved on.
No, absolutely.
I think if she'd have just let it go and not over dramatized it, it would have blown over and no one would have said anything.
She didn't dramatize it. She gave a look that it wasn't.
She dramatized it with her husband, is what I mean. Like,
no, she didn't. She just looked like.
Then why did he stand up?
Because he realized his wife just got insulted in front of millions and millions of people.
She was being dramatic. He felt the need to defend her because she was being dramatic.
You're telling me how you think he felt. I'm telling you what happened.
Okay.
There's a big difference. His wife was insulted, whether you think it was warranted or not. The reaction happened. Okay. Doesn't matter how you think she signaled to him and he felt he had to do this and that. That's not.
He laughed. Well, I'm getting that from the fact that he laughed. Mm-hmm. He laughed like a normal laugh. He heard the joke, he laughed, then looked at her, and then responded.
Every time a smart comedian, especially somebody like a Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, sometimes you have to let the joke land. Doesn't mean he realized at that point that his wife was being insulted. Could have been thinking, oh, G.I. Jane, haha, wait a minute. This mother just now insulted my wife. After I laughed, I just realized what you said. No, we're not doing it.
I could never envision being in that situation where it's ever going to be that serious. A comedian, it's never going to be that serious. And it wasn't even a serious joke.
You're
the
not
joke
a husband.
Was not even insulting. The joke
you're not a husband, and it wasn't insulting to you.
So serious that you're live at the Oscars going to go slap somebody?
Clearly, it was.
It wasn't.
It happened.
It wasn't. It happened, but it wasn't. There's something wrong with him. He should have been arrested. He should have been escorted out immediately at a very minimum. He should have been escorted out. If Ricky Gervais said something and Will Smith went up there and slapped him, best believe he would have been escorted out immediately. Or maybe even arrested if he had pressed charges. I don't think Ricky Gervais would have pressed charges. Wait, sorry. Did I cut you off?
No, I'm just saying it depends on what he said. If he said that exact same joke and exact same thing happened,
I don't think Will Smith would have got up and hit him. And sorry, Shayla and Jeff, I don't want to be like taking over the whole thing because y'all already know how I feel. So I can just stop talking. But Shayla, what do you think?
Okay, so I get that he was trying to defend his wife's honor. I get that was the intent. I don't agree with his method. Like, he slapped and skedaddled. I don't like it. Like, he literally ran up there and walked back so fast. Like, you could see the stages of grief on Chris Rock's face. Like, he was literally processing what happened to him. Because you could tell he leaned into it. Like, he thought he was about to say something to him. And this man just slapped him. He was like, wow. Like, you saw his fist ball up. You saw him let it go because Will Smith walked off so fast. he would have either had to Spartacus kick this man or chase him to give him like it just would have been all bad. I'm so glad he took a second and didn't react. But the level, like I related to Chris Rock in this situation because I know what it feels like to be put on the spot like that and to have to compose, like to actually have to compose yourself and try to speak. I would have been bawling, crying, trying not to rip his face. Like I would have cried because I would have been so mad. Like I don't like when people do things to you when you at your job. You know I'm on stage, you know I'm presenting, and you put me in a position where you have the advantage because I can't react how we would
Why
if I
can't he
was
react?
backstage or on the street.
You're
Because
being
we're
ridiculous, Tito.
presenting. We're in
Why can't he
front of the
react?
Oscars. Because we're in front of the Oscars. Like we're on a stage at the Oscars. And
Two black men wrestling at the Oscars.
You gotta think of how that looks. Like we've been talking about Oscars so white. Y'all just brought the source to the Oscars. Y'all just brought BET to the like. That's not. Has that ever happened?
No,
Oh,
but I'm
man.
confused as to why you can say something that's clearly a man-to-man offense.
You cannot assault someone.
Yes,
it's
you can.
illegal.
No, he literally did. You can. So you can't say something that is an egregious. You can't say something and insult the man's wife, and then get slapped, and then act surprised. Like that doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. Why are you surprised? You just violated.
It's a comedian making a joke.
No.
And it wasn't even a good joke.
Men's wives. You don't do that. No.
It wasn't even an offensive joke.
To you.
To you, it wasn't. To her, it was.
To you, it was.
I get it. I see what you're saying about if I was offended. And that's why I was saying I want to hear your point of view.
I even disagree that he was doing it for her honor. He wasn't. Chris Rock offended him directly. He insulted him as a man. In front of me, you're going to talk about my wife? Really? You really think this is okay? Every man knows you don't do that. You don't talk about a man's wife. You don't talk about a man's kids. If you do that, you are essentially challenging me to a fight. That's how I see it. There's no other way I can take that.
Okay.
You're not disrespecting her. You're disrespecting me. Mm-hmm. I need to step in. No, honey, out of the way. This is between you and him.
But you're basically saying that, like, why couldn't he respond? You would have been okay with them brawling on the stage at the Oscars.
He brought it there. I posted this. Now
that would
there was a conversation that was happening there. Chris Rock essentially violated something you just don't do. Will Smith had a decision to make. Now his reaction we can't control. It's going to be what it's going to be. But that's because it's because of the actions of Chris Rock. So he had a decision to make. Once that man slapped him in the face, he literally turned his back on him. So you did what you did. I just did what I did. Now I'm about to turn around and walk away. If you want to jump on my back, we can, and we can go there. Otherwise, it's over. It's over. You humiliated her. I humiliated you.
But is that you sticking up for your wife then? Or is that like a sucker punch? Like to me, if the whole premise is honor, was that an honorable thing to do?
That's why I said I don't agree with it being honor. It has nothing to do with honor.
He was defending her honor, right?
He wasn't. No.
What was he doing?
A man insulted him, his wife, and essentially his kids. That's the mother of his kids. You insulted my entire family. I'm going to react.
So you're going to make her insult about you as a man.
It is about me because Chris Rock's joke. Yeah, Chris Rock's joke was toward her, but he did it in front of her husband. That is a direct insult to the man. That's man to man at that point. You can pick on anybody you want in the family. If somebody walks up and smacks my son, that ain't got nothing to do with my son now. It's me and you. What are you going to do? Fight my son?
It's not a joke. I said that's a smack. It's not a joke by a comedian at the Oscars.
Then if somebody calls my son a name, you think that's going to be okay with me?
It depends on the circumstance. These are two grown adults at the Oscars. And
Correct.
This is a comedian making a joke in that proper scene. They're in the front row. They're fair game. He made a very light joke.
Shantae, it's not a Comedy Central roast.
Not what you're describing. You're describing something way more severe than what happened.
No, I'm not.
And I'm so far on the other side of this. Like I said, I
fine.
can't even imagine any situation
You're
where
not a
I would
husband
be offended by anything a comedian
because
would
you're not a
say.
husband. You're not a
So
husband.
I can't put it seems like this is a husband defending people thing that I just
It's not
can't
people.
get behind.
No, it's his house.
No, it's not
Listen,
people.
it's not
And,
people.
and, and
It's
I
my
get
people.
and I get
My
that, but my question is, so you hit him? Like, why can't you say something back, or why can't? Like, I don't
Right.
understand. And I'm
Because
not
he was
saying don't do anything about it. I'm just saying, so you hit him.
Right. I mean, so the alternative could have been, instead of him
You
yelling,
hit him and walk
"Keep
off
my wife's
quickly.
name out your mouth" after the fact, he could have said it beforehand, and I'm gonna see your ass at the after party, motherfucker. Like, say something where it's like, okay, now Chris Rock can defend himself, he can prep for it, he can
Say
be like,
that to
okay,
who and
all
when.
right, I messed up. Okay,
Say
well,
that to who and when.
what?
You said he could say it, and I'm gonna see it that when and where. When did
No,
you do this?
instead of him shouting, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth" after he hit him, he could have did that beforehand and said, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth. I'm gonna see you in the back."
No.
And that's it.
So, no,
That's it.
no.
Shouting it after. Why couldn't he have shouted it before?
Because that emboldens the
somewhere
guy who's 20 feet, 30 feet away to keep going.
Right.
He almost did.
Yep.
The only reason he even had to say anything is he walked back to his seat and Chris Rock started trying to explain himself. No, it's over.
No.
It's over. You know what just happened.
Yeah.
I know what just happened. The whole world saw it. It's over. But it was just a joke. I don't want to hear the joke. It's over.
This is the most illogical thing I've ever heard. I will never understand men. This is just clear to me. Because
I wanted to address the slap and then walk away.
Yes.
So hold on, because you're not going to agree with me on this. Every good fighter is taught to stick and move. So Will stuck and he moved. He didn't get hit back.
Nah, that's not what he did. He skedaddled. He didn't bob. He didn't.
He skedaddled.
The man fixed his jacket and walked away.
He
fixed it. He said,
and walked away. Stand your ground as a man and say, he should have stood there and said, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." Like,
what do you think the slap was?
He ran.
He ran.
He ran
and started shouting.
How do you run and sit down 20 feet away?
He ran. You really say he
walked away and started shouting from his seat?
No, he didn't.
After the fact,
wasn't that far from Chris. Chris could have went to his seat and handled his business.
No, listen. He did not run and start yelling from his seat. He
ran.
walked back.
He walked away.
Yeah,
calmly.
He smacked a grown man.
He
smacked a grown man. Turned around, set his jacket, walked back to his seat. The only reason he kept saying something is because Chris Rock started trying to talk to him. No, it's over. It's handled. Then he starts saying, "It was a G.I. Joe." I don't want to hear any of that. It's over. It's over. That's what he was doing when he was yelling, "Keep your name out your mouth." It's over. The situation is handled. We're done. Go on and do your job.
Chris got it the second time. He said,
"Well, I'd have been okay with you getting arrested too." Then I guess.
Yeah. Go on and tell the rest of your jokes.
If he would have gotten arrested, if Chris Rock would have pressed charges, he was well within his rights to do that.
Yeah.
But Chris Rock, being a man himself, didn't.
I don't think that's what happened.
He did.
I don't think that's why. I just think he wants to be free to move on, make jokes, and I will be laughing at them all. Because this couple is gonna be torn apart, and I am for it. I am so for it because they put all their business in the streets, and you know what? Now you done open yourself up.
What does that have to do with last
comedic
night?
wrath? Because it's like you can't take a joke. I took it as you can't take a joke. I took it as you can't take a joke. You see yourself as this serious that I can't even make a light joke about you and move on. He did not, in my opinion, he did not insult her. Like I said, she would be lucky to get a role that Demi Moore played. Leave. She is not worthy.
Take that approach.
So I will say this. I'm not as out of touch with. So I have heard her speak on how traumatic her alopecia is for her, and she did say it's a very tough subject. It's very traumatic for her. So she's in the thick of it where she's still traumatized by it. So I can see how she could be triggered or set off because, especially, you gotta think if you take pride in your hair and it's you're mourning the loss of your hair and the confidence it takes to step out and go to an award show and just have that confidence, and then somebody makes a joke, like I can see how that could definitely be devastating. And like, especially if a crowd of people is laughing, I could see how that could be. I can empathize with her enough to say I understand, but I don't think that insulting somebody was the proper response to that. Now, I get
That's
the
fair.
man defending, I understand that, but I just feel like a way to do certain things where that's where it took away from it for me.
That's
I'm not
fair.
saying he shouldn't defend his wife. I'm not saying he shouldn't have
He
said
wasn't defending
anything
his
to
wife.
him. Or his house or whatever his man
I
thing
still
he
don't
was
get it
doing.
right. I'm
This
like,
is
whatever it
important.
was.
No, this
that
is
happened.
important because
Whatever
when
it
you
was
frame
that
it
went
that
down.
way, when you frame it that way, it opens the door for different things. If me and Jeff and 6 other guys are in a room, we're in our living room, we're about to watch a game, and somebody insults my wife, every dude is going to be like, "Are you crazy? What are you doing?" This is not about defending his wife. His wife cannot even be in the room.
Nope.
It's about the man disrespecting the other man.
It's a different scene. It's
No,
not
it's
at a
not.
comedy show.
It's not a comedy show. It's the Oscars, Sean.
I understand that, but Chris Rock is on the stage, and his
how
job
many
at the
non-com-
Oscars is to make jokes about current events.
How many
Yeah,
non-comedians host that show? Does it
What does that
happen?
have to do?
he
I'm talking
was
about
there
Chris
as
Rock
a
being on the
comedian,
stage.
though.
Because you're turning it into
I'm
this
saying
comedy
Chris
show
Rock being on the
roast
stage
situation.
at the moment during this. I'm setting the scene. During that moment, Chris Rock was on the stage, and he's going to make jokes, and most likely he's going to pick on the people who are in the front row, and most likely he's going to be pulling from current events. That's it.
That's not a
the
current
scene.
event. Making fun of my wife's appearance isn't a current event. If he
Because
said
she's recently
entangled,
been I'm talking about because she's recently been talking about her hair.
so that's not a joke. So if he said something about entanglement, I don't think Will Smith would have taken it that way, and I don't think he would have
Not at
walked
all.
up on that stage.
Wait,
I'm telling
what?
you.
You think he would
telling
have
you.
reacted better to the entanglement situation?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Because
What?
you're not
I think he
insulting
would have
my
too.
wife.
I think he
Really?
would have too.
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
I think he would have too.
No, he wouldn't.
Because it's like making fun of somebody's disability versus making fun of
Exactly.
something that they did.
Something that they did
There's
is
a
different.
traumatization.
Yeah,
She's
so
traumatized by her
I
hairline.
get the difference with that. Like, I'm not saying I'm so like I get that part. I just don't agree with the method that he took to respond to it.
And I
That's all
understand
I'm
that. That's fair.
saying.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
My whole thing is you can't get mad at the man for his reaction to somebody else's actions if their actions were wrong. Everybody can't be, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. Yeah, well, that's what happens.
Well,
When
then
you cross the line,
it sounded like you guys were also okay with him getting arrested. So
yeah,
I mean,
If he would have,
he wasn't going to get arrested
it's
for that.
yeah.
we have a lot of
If he would have
comments
gotten
that
arrested.
I've been in dozens of fights. I've never been locked up for fighting. Like, they asked what happened. He insulted my wife. Okay, that's what it is. They're gonna look.
I think it's different when it's on TV, though.
Why is it
All
different?
the people.
No, it's not because he didn't get arrested.
Because Chris Rock didn't press charges. But if he pressed charges, I do think they would have arrested him. Now, I don't know what would have happened after that.
Will's lawyers would have got him right out of jail. He wouldn't have spent no time
that's
in
what I'm
jail.
saying. I'm not saying he would have actually like did time, but I'm just saying I do think they would have had to arrest him.
But
just
it's
slapped him in front of everybody.
Like, it's a simple bars.
Right.
Every night have that happen.
No. Yeah, I'm
normal.
not saying he would have been charged with a felony or anything, but I'm just saying because of how televised and how they would have had to at least arrest him if Chris wanted to press charges.
That's a simple battery. I don't even think that's 30 minutes. Like, that's nothing.
It's a misdemeanor for sure, but yeah, he probably would have got a fine.
Maybe.
So
but he was clearly willing to take that risk, and he did what he felt he had to do. I don't think I would have went up and did it that way, but he would have felt it. Like there would have been some. I guess I shouldn't say that. It would have been. It would have.
Think of your future.
It would have been as televised.
This is online. It's forever.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been as out there, but everyone would have known what happened.
So I will ask this. So what do you think about Will apologizing for it, Matito?
Yeah, that's bull. If you're gonna do it, do it. If you're gonna do it, own it. Move on.
It was handled. It's over. Now we can
Why is he apologizing?
Huh?
So why
Yeah.
did he apologize?
Well, Chris apologized too.
Yeah, they apologized. It's over.
Both of Chris
So once it's
apologized
handled,
because
that's
he
it.
didn't know.
Surprised that Chris
Chris
apologized
going
because
on
I
is
don't
because he
think
didn't know,
I don't think he knew what he did. Like I honestly
Right.
don't think he knew
and that's
what
why
he
he
did.
apologized.
That's why he
He
apologized.
apologized
I'm
because
not
he didn't
surprised he apologized.
And he should apologize.
Literally shocked at what happened. He did not like. I so felt sorry for him in that moment. Like he
I
handled that
felt
like
bad
a
for him,
champ.
but I didn't feel sorry for him. So
But
when you're
if
what
you-
makes a
if you
joke
heard
funny
his
is you're
speech,
towing lines, right?
Mm.
Once you step over and you get popped in the head, okay, I can't go there again. That's just what happens.
right?
That's how
I'm
you
saying he
learn that.
didn't-
That's
and
how you
I'm not
learn the
saying
line.
He didn't step over a
It's
line.
a
What
it's a
I'm saying is-
recalibration.
Yeah. It's like
Thing.
It's like
okay.
remember when we were younger and we had the TV that wasn't working, you go up
Yeah,
and
you
hit
just
it
hit it on
real
the
quick
side.
and it clear up. So
Yeah.
that's what it was.
on intent, and my thing is I don't think he intentionally did what he actually did. So but I'm not saying that the response shouldn't be the same or the hurt isn't the same. I'm just saying I think he literally was just talking about the haircut. Like I don't think he knew about. I don't think that man watched Red Table Talk. I don't think
doesn't
he
matter.
paid no mind
He
to what
said
that lady
he
doing.
said I didn't know that she had alopecia.
Yeah.
And I apologize for making the joke because I didn't know it was such a sensitive subject. And then Will responded with his apology and said I could have handled it different.
Yeah.
And once they apologized, then the Oscars came and said, well, last night we said we were going to leave it alone, but now we're going to put an investigation into it to see what we can do in the future.
All they
They
need
said
to
the
do
lawyers
is
in the room were so spread out, so far apart, they couldn't meet to make a decision.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
Come on, man.
Come
Come on, man.
win. Y'all let him get his Oscar, and y'all let that man go.
That was
about
great.
his
But did
day.
you listen to
Done
Will's
with
speech
this.
though?
I am done with them.
I listened to it. I
Because
did.
with Will's speech, he was trying to make people understand why he did what he did. He said, my job is to protect my family. And that's what all of us feel. Every man, if you have a man that doesn't feel obligated to protect his family, you with the wrong man. You with the wrong man.
I agree with protecting your family, but slapping skedaddle, I don't know how it works.
She can't
comedy
show.
show.
He just walked right
That
off the
man
stage.
Twinkle toes went
That's
on
what
back
I'm
to that
struggling
seat.
with.
He heard.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
My internet.
Yeah, we can hear you.
His
Okay.
feet was.
That's what I'm.
He did not walk off that fast.
I'm just playing.
I'm struggling mentally. I think with just. You're so damn dumb.
But in his speech, did you hear him at the end when he asked? He said, "Please invite me back."
Yeah.
At the end of his speech, he was like, "Please invite me back."
You know
Chris
why?
Rock said that?
Because you know why?
No.
You get to stay
Will
at
Smith
home for
at
that.
the end of his speech, he said,
He
"Please
sure
invite me
did.
back."
He
But-
sure did.
So my issue with his speech is take
Accountability.
what's the word? Accountability for what your actions were, right? But he blamed it on the devil. He said,
Right.
Devil
and I
made me
just
do
talked. And then Denzel said, at your highest moment, that's when the devil shows up. Don't blame that on the devil. No, I walked up
devil
and I
made
slapped
him
the
do it.
taste out his mouth. That's what he should have said.
The devil made
but
him do
no,
it.
the devil made me do it. So that I took exception with. Me like, man, you slapped the
And
man.
King Richard
you
would
did what
slap
you
them.
felt
They
was
thought he was
necessary.
crazy too.
King
Don't
Richard-
blame
King
it on
Richard-
don't blame it on their daddy. Don't
King
do that.
Richard- King Richard got enough mental issues. Don't leave Venus and Serena Daddy alone. that man was crazy. Still is.
What I have the biggest problem with is people tying their sex life and their relationship and their marriage into what happened yesterday, as if one has anything to do with the other. It's really weird.
Why is it
That's what
not
I've been
fair
saying
game?
all day.
Why is it not fair game to bring up that situation?
Because one doesn't have anything to do with the other.
Why is my question?
Okay,
because they have whatever's going on in their marital life. That's for them to figure out. That's why they got married.
No, they
So
talk
because
about
it's
it
working-
constantly. They talk about it constantly. It's
That's
completely public.
That's fine.
And
What does that do
so
with Chris Rock?
what's the
talking
problem
about
with
her
bringing
parents?
it up?
Because it has
No.
nothing to do with Chris Rock mentioning her appearance.
No, the comments that I heard were more so like August Alsina did much worse. So why did you slap Chris Rock and not slap?
He brought up the whole relationship on a radio show.
That's between him and his wife. That's it. So why say he should have punched him? You're now projecting what you would do in a situation of these two people's marriage into a situation between a man making fun of his wife on the stage. Like they don't connect. There's no connection at all.
I disagree.
How?
I think it's fair game to say, okay, why do you have a problem with this man but not this man? Both were disrespectful in their own ways.
How do we know what happened behind the scenes with the other guy?
They talked about it.
But we
had
don't know.
The entanglement. They had the whole conversation.
Yeah, I understand.
They put their whole dysfunctional mess out there.
Yes. So what does that have to do with Chris Rock?
All I'm saying is it's fair game to bring it up because it's their relationship and they keep having these same. I don't know. I just feel like the common thread is. I don't even want to.
No, the common thread is their relationship is.
The common thread is him. I feel like her.
Feel is an important word.
The common thread I feel like is her. Just
well, my understanding.
Talk about her appearance.
No. My understanding was the way that August Alsina put their relationship out there, and that wasn't her want for. I do think that
it was disrespectful,
and just the way that she called it an entanglement, like she didn't want that information known. It was very, personal things that he talked about. He made a whole song about it. So in a way, like for a woman, that's a violation. Like it is.
So what was the difference? So why would Will not seek him out and slap him somehow?
He said
we don't know what happened behind the scenes between them two. Is what I'm saying. Like this is a public incident that happened. Has absolutely nothing to do with what happened in their bedroom or who's cheating or who's sleeping with who
even in
or any of that. None of that has anything to do with yesterday.
That people were taking more so of a stance, even if it did happen in private, like you said, it might have happened behind the scenes, but everybody would have known about it. Like it would have been that kind of equal response. Like
how do we know there wasn't a response? Is what I'm trying to understand. Like we're assuming
he would have said something. He was singing like a missionary. He would have had a whole other song about it. We would have known.
No, you guys are projecting this weird. You're making a connection like. A man insulted his wife in front of people. I know. That's why I'm trying to figure out what their sex life and their relationship and their marriage has to do.
I think their problem in general with the public is that we know too much. They put too much of their business out on the street, and so now people are responding chaotically because they put all their business out on the street. Period. So every time they say anything about anything, now people are going to talk about the slap. Before people were talking about August, and people are just going to keep talking about everything that she keeps bringing up. And that's it.
You're making it about her. What does that have to do with
the whole relationship? It's not just her. I'm talking about her, I think, because she has the show and she's the one who kind of starts these conversations. So
this is the problem.
She did bring him into it for the one episode, but I don't think he's typically on there. But I'm just saying, like, so for me, it's her bringing her stuff and putting it out there on the streets. And so to me, it's fair game. As soon as you bring it out and make it public, it's fair game for your celebrity. Keep it private or it's going to be public and people are going to make fun of you.
But if there's no connection between that and a guy calling his wife bald-headed, like that's...
And everything is a connection because they're celebrities. And so people are just going to naturally make fun of... To me, people are just naturally going to make fun of any situation about you. It doesn't matter.
People do, but when they're there, expect something to happen. You can do it. You can do it in a special and make your little jokey jokes. But if the man is sitting in front of you and you do that, I just don't understand how he can act surprised when he got slapped. Like that has nothing to do with my relationship with my wife. I don't care what's out there. As soon as you start insulting her, it's just not related in any way. And to say, oh, he should have did this to that guy. We don't know what happened with that guy.
I'm not saying he should have, but it just...
I think we would know if it had happened with August.
But that's not...
Have you ever been in a situation? Have you ever been in a situation where someone wronged you, right? And you did nothing about it, but you felt a certain type of way and you're like, I ain't gonna never let nobody else disrespect me or my family ever again in that way.
Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that could have been that could have been the
Absolutely.
motivation for this whole thing, because
And you know what? That's what
the-
people were saying. I think that's
The
what Whoopi
entanglement.
Goldberg said.
Yeah.
Like Whoopi Goldberg was saying, she thinks that this is just a build up and the kettle just burst. Like she was saying, this has been years,
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
years,
Keep your mouth shut, and none of this would have happened.
And
Well,
it's just it was
he's
just
not talking. She the one that's running her mouth.
She's running her mouth. She got all their business out in the streets, and now
Yeah.
this is what's happened. I agree with
Chris
that.
Rock makes a ball joke about her is a result of her talking about their relationship.
no.
I agree that it's a boil up. I
No.
agree that it's
We were
This is
saying the
mind
action.
blowing to me. I'm trying to
No,
understand.
I
we're
agree.
saying him actually responding and hitting him, like hauling
That's
off and
related.
hitting him.
There was a last straw moment, it possibly, Matito.
Yeah,
It could have been.
Yeah.
But why are we trying to make the connection to that instead of saying, "Oh,
Because
well,
what? How do you explain? Well, I don't think you're getting there because you think this behavior is normal. I think I was going the other direction because
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, this behavior is not normal. There's
Didn't you
no
grow up with this man?
situation. There is no situation that I can think of where I will be okay with my husband attacking somebody on live TV
You're not
or a
supposed to be
light
okay with
show. So in my head, this is not normal. So how did we get here? It was
So-
probably a buildup of all of this stuff that's been going on over the
But
past
that's
few
your
years. I
job.
agree with Whoopi Goldberg. It's
That's
a
your
buildup,
job.
and he just blew up because he couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, that's
The
your job,
relationship
though.
is dysfunctional. We know that. They've said it. They laughed about it on that show. They're nuts. That relationship is nuts.
Okay, but what you just said, it makes sense. That's your job as a feminine woman. You're not supposed to want your husband out there punching people in the face or slapping them or embarrassing. That's what you're supposed to do. Our job is completely different. We have 3 roles: provide, protect, and then protect again. That's it. That is our
What
role.
does that mean?
It means that's how serious it is. That's what that means. All right.
Protect.
If the door gets kicked into your house, it is our job to die, literally.
Yeah.
Understand how serious that is. People don't seem
No,
to
I
understand that.
disagree with. I understand what you're saying. All I'm saying is that this situation did not call for that.
I didn't say it does. I'm saying that that's our role regardless. That's how deeply ingrained it is that we have. As soon as we say I do, that is what we're signing up for.
At a comedy show that you chose to go
It's
to.
not a
sit in the
comedy
front
show.
row.
It's the Oscars.
It's in the front row. I understand
not a
that it's
comedy
a
show.
comedy on this. It's a comedian on the stage, and that's what he's there to do.
Okay, somebody told me
So
to
to
ask
me, it's
this
the
question.
equivalent. If you're at a comedy show and that happens, get out. Why did you come in here? Why are you here? That's what I would have been thinking. If I was sitting behind them and we were at a comedy show, at a Chris Rock show, and he said something about G.I. Jane, why are you here? Get the fuck out.
It's not a comedy show. It's not a comedy show.
At
So-
a comedy show, are you sitting in a room full of your peers?
Who cares?
That's a
You
big
feel me?
difference.
If you
They
came with a
care.
bunch of people, if you 20 deep, yeah,
They
I
care.
guess. But what does that have to do with the fact that you chose to be there? And
Well,
the
just don't
comedian
show
is
up
on the
or
stage,
come
and
and
the
get
comedian
insulted.
has a job to do. No,
His
They
job.
need to
All right.
You're
was
talking
told
like
for it. In my
you're talking
opinion,
like a person
he was
that's been
told
to a comedy show has never been insulted by a comic at a comedy show and been offended by it and gotten upset by it. We're human.
I agree
We're
we're
human.
human. I agree we're human, and I understand that. But if I go to a comedy show, I know what I'm getting myself into.
Do
And
you
if I don't
expect
want to be
get-
offended or talked about or whatever, I'm not going to go.
I don't expect my wife to get insulted on a night I'm getting an Oscar. I don't.
I agree.
I don't.
I
I
don't
don't
expect my
expect my
wife
wife
to
to get insulted.
Yeah.
I don't care where I'm sitting. I don't expect my wife to get insulted on the night I'm
It's
getting an
geared
Oscar.
towards
To me, it wasn't
her.
an insult, and maybe that's part of it too. To me, number one, it
But
wasn't an insult; it was a light,
to her, it
hearted
was.
joke.
I don't know because you gotta think about being like the relevance of it. Like they've been pretty like to me that's like Kim Kardashian showing up and expecting nobody to say nothing to her. Like somebody's gonna say something.
When she's
Right.
with her husband, do they? No.
Huh?
When she's with her husband, they don't.
No, I'm talking about
They
if she
stay
would have
away from
showed
that
up.
topic for a reason. Because he's
She ain't got a
there.
husband no more.
Well, when she has husbands,
She got a crazy white dude now that might end up as her next husband.
when
But-
she has husbands,
Can I read the comment? Wait, I think this is
Go
so relevant. LaShawn said,
What?
my husband said it is not his job to slap everyone who makes a comment about my haircut.
it's not a comment, it's an insult first. Secondly, if it's done in front of millions of people,
I
it's
don't
a
think it
problem.
make a difference to JB.
It may not. It may
Amen.
not. I just I let me go back to this question. What is the point of making fun of somebody?
If it's a comedian, that's
No,
their
I'm
whole
just asking
job.
a question. I just asked you a question. What is the point of it?
If it's a comedian, it's their entire job.
Their job is to make fun of people?
Yeah, your job is to make fun of everything.
No, it's
And
not.
as someone attending a comedy show, I understand it's not a comedy show, but if it was a comedy show, your job is to not be offended, or you shouldn't
To
be
get a laugh by any means necessary.
Yeah, that's not.
Well, you
that's
could.
not what they do.
You guys
You know
talked
that
about
to put on a
straddling
show and
lines.
entertain the whole time.
So
Are you not entertained?
Right.
The joke was so bad. I cannot get back to the fact that this joke
when-
was not even offensive. Like, what are we talking
to
about?
you,
To you.
when,
To her, it was different.
typically when somebody gets made fun of at a comedy show, if we're going to use that premise, it's because they're heckling or they're doing something. They're drinking, they're talking, they're on the phone, they're interrupting your show. You don't go out there and start making fun of people.
Not really.
If you
Sometimes
do-
you just be sitting there.
No, okay. But what I'm saying is, if there's a guy sitting next to a woman, they're going to ask, "Are you guys a couple?" There's a reason they do that, because now I know I'm insulting this man's wife. I'm not going to go there. That's why they do that.
Maybe. I mean, I'm
That is
learning
why-
that tonight. I'm learning that right now.
But you've never noticed that? Have you ever watched and said, "I wonder why he asked, are they together?" There's a reason they're asking if they're together.
No, it depends on the comedian, because I know some that they'll go in. Like
They just
they'll
randomly
ask-
just go in on people.
No. They'll might ask the question, but they go in.
They go in on the man.
No, they will say
I've
something.
never
Can I tell
seen.
you? Can I tell you? Can I tell you
I've never seen
how
that.
we react? So if we're all hanging out and my boy brings a new chick and she's dog ugly and got a bad personality, we ain't gonna say nothing to him
Nope.
then. We're not gonna say nothing to him then. Now, when he realizes it and lets her go, then we'll be like, "Man, dang, bro,
Exactly.
dude, I don't even know why you
I
got
think
her."
people in
That's
general
that
do that. 'cause
While
I do
they're
that
together,
too.
no.
Yeah,
Oh,
I do
she's
that
off
too.
limits.
No, absolutely not.
Like
off
I
limits.
don't. I've done that too. So that's not.
But
yeah.
why?
Okay, but because so sometimes
Why not say
Go
something
ahead,
right in front of
finish
him?
that statement. Out of
Yeah, you about to say something.
respect.
I said out of respect for the person,
Okay.
I just leave it be.
There it is.
There it is. Right
Not
there.
not
That
when
is
you're
between
playing a
all
role of
men.
celebrity at the
Shantae
Oscars.
is not
I
giving this
said
one up.
I get it.
Yeah,
I wasn't. I
It's just
wasn't
what it
disagreeing
is.
with your point. I said I understand it. I never disagreed. You said say the word like I didn't say acknowledge before.
Because finishing that,
I said it the
finishing
first
that is a
time.
very
Remember
powerful
back when
point
I had
to me.
said I understand. I get that part, but I
But it needs to
don't
be
agree
stressed.
with the method. No, I never disagree with saying that
But
I
it
don't
still needs to
understand
be
it.
stressed because people are making it about their other life or their relationship or all that other stuff. At that moment, somebody was being disrespectful. That's it.
And if you're
So
asking
I
about a
have to be
comedian,
disrespectful back.
off the top of my head, Andrew Schultz does it all the time. Like if you ever look at his comedy shows, he does it all the time.
He just goes in on random women.
He'll ask, "Are you together?" and he'll still go in on a woman and
But
talk.
what is
dude
he
about
talking about? Her appearance, or is he talking about how she's dressed, what
He
she's
could be-
doing?
he
Like,
don't
there's a big
care.
difference between.
But
them.
again, knowing that
Don't
if I
care.
go, I know that. So
Yeah.
why are you here if it's a problem? People are too easily offended these days.
This is
I'm
not
gonna
about
tell
being
you-
offended.
I'm gonna
This is
tell
about
you
being
this.
disrespected.
So
If somebody
my,
tries and it's a bad joke, it's still the fact that they're trying.
right.
Because my
Right.
question in the house is gonna be like, why are we doing this? What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm
And
trying to
that's
watch
my
the
question
game.
to the person slapping. What are we doing? What
It's
are
too
you
late.
doing?
At that point, it's too
The
late.
point is
What are
he
you doing?
insulted his wife,
Yeah.
and the man handled it the way he felt he needed to handle it at that time. My mom, before I got married, my mom, my number one, like she was everything, right? So my mom didn't like my wife at some point, and she started to talk mess about my wife to me. And I had to check my mom because I wasn't going to sit there and allow my mom to speak negatively about my wife. And that's my mother. Now, I ain't go slap my mama, but the words that came out my mouth cut deep. And it took my mom 3 weeks to call me back. And she told me how proud she was of me at the time, because she didn't think I had it in me to talk to her that way about my wife. So when it comes to wives and children, it's off limits. I don't care what anybody, I don't care if it's at a comedy show, it's off limits. Men know the rules. It's unwritten, but you know the rules. My spouse and my family. It's like when you was a kid, if somebody talked about your mama,
that's it.
You wanted to fight.
Time to fight.
It's time to fight. You talk about my mama.
There's nothing else to say at that point.
Yeah, no. So it's the same thing. My family is off limits. This group of 4, all my job is to do is protect them. If I see my daughter is hurt by something somebody said, that it's gonna be a problem.
Watch out.
It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem.
I live in a different world.
To the point where the daughter is gonna try and not say something just because she knows how big of a problem it is. That's our role.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I learned something tonight. I definitely did not realize that. So I appreciate you all sharing from that point of view because
men know their limits.
Y'all just go around slapping people.
That's it. Yeah. If it shouldn't come to that. That's my whole thing. It shouldn't have even got there. It shouldn't have come to that.
Right.
Like if I had to smack a dude, I would be mad that he made me do this. I'm being dead serious. I'd be like, why are we doing this?
And I get that they're at the Oscars, but they still crack jokes at the Oscars. Like they do that at the Oscars.
They joke about performances. They joke about political stance. They don't just start talking about somebody's appearance. It's just that's not.
Yeah. It's different than
Ricky Gervais made fun of so many different things.
He made fun of political stances and elitism. That's what he made fun of. He didn't say look at like that's not comedy. That's insulting.
Chris Rock didn't say anything about look at you, da 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 da. All he said was, I'll see you in G.I. Jane 2.
He made a direct reference to her appearance.
Right.
If he did it about Lizzo,
I can't think of an example quick enough to give a response to that, but I'm pretty sure.
Lizzo's appearance, would that be a big deal?
I'm trying to think of, because to me this was a compliment. I'm trying to think of another
thing
somebody has said.
If he made a fat joke about Lizzo, would it be a big deal? If so, why?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Sorry, I'm not thinking about what you said. I'm trying to think about
if Chris Rock made a fat joke about Lizzo. Would that be a problem?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would come back to the exact situation of, okay, it's Chris Rock. I'm sorry. I wasn't listening.
Here's my thing. It's not that the comment wasn't a problem, and I'm not trying to defend his comment and say, that was okay. I'm not trying to do that at all. What I'm trying to say is if somebody makes a joke about fat shaming somebody, that doesn't mean it's okay to go up and slap them. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, it is. It would be okay for her.
100% agree.
When she was married, it would be okay for her husband to do it.
It was an overreaction.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Why can't you say something back? Why can't you use your words? Like, I don't understand.
Because he didn't do that.
Who?
Chris Rock did it purposely in front of millions of people. So why wait till later to
LaShawn said they talked about LeBron's hairline for sure.
But that's a man talking about another man.
Hairline.
That's different.
They didn't talk about LeBron's wife's hairline. They could have talked about Will Smith's hairline. He could have said anything about Will Smith. He didn't.
And he would never came wife.
Whoever talks about LeBron's wife? Nobody. You don't do that.
Nobody.
You don't. It's off limits. And every man knows this. So any man who says that is not true, I feel really bad for the wife if it happens to you.
Right.
I just do. Because you're not going to feel good after that experience. You're not going to feel protected. You're going to be like, I can't believe he didn't say anything. Like, he didn't even do anything. Like, that man just made fun of the mother of his children and he did nothing.
And that's the position I tried to put myself in earlier. I was trying to think of what scenario could I put myself in where if I'm sitting there, I would feel like I had to be defended. Or like you said, afterward, I would be like, why didn't he say anything? I couldn't think of not a one.
And sometimes it's not even anything to do with you. Sometimes you just exist and people do and say things to you. Because I've experienced that before. Like, I've actually been out before minding my own business. and dudes have made comments to me
Oh,
out
of
of
course.
nowhere.
Oh,
But
yeah,
if
that
you
happens
were
all the
with a
time.
So
dude,
you don't have to be doing anything for
Okay.
somebody to just do that.
yes. So if
It's a
you're with a
different
dude,
scene. Again, in my head, it's a different scene.
that's
If
a
I am
perfect
a
scenario. Though.
celebrity at the Oscars and it's Chris Rock, like it's a different scene than if somebody's just out on the street disrespecting
But
me.
it's still a good scenario, Shayla. What if you're with a guy and he didn't say anything and you guys just kept walking? Would there be another date?
Oh, I've actually experienced that before. No, it definitely would be a problem.
Why? Exactly. Thank you.
That's not the
Thank
same
you.
thing.
Well, it
but
is.
but
It's
on the
worse.
but
It's
but
worse
but
in
but
a smaller setting.
wait. But in a setting like, and again, I just feel like my mentality is different because it was the Oscars and he was a comedian making
Right. So
jokes.
that's worse.
I wouldn't have
Disagree.
like, I don't want to say punished, but I wouldn't have been mad at whoever guy was with if he didn't say any, like if he didn't go up on stage and slap him.
No, you don't have to require him to
been
go up on stage
mad.
and slap him, obviously. What I'm saying is it's
There's nothing
clear
a comedian can
disrespect.
say. that
You
I would be,
recognize
like,
it as
offended.
disrespect. You wouldn't go back with that
Addressing-
guy in a small setting.
Here's the
Now we're
thing,
going to add tens of millions of
addressing
people
and
to it.
assaulting are two different things. I don't have a problem with addressing. I just don't think it should have went where it went.
Right. So your problem is how he addressed it, right? If there's no situation to
How he
address,
addressed it.
right. So from a man's perspective, I shouldn't even have to address this. We shouldn't even be doing this right now. So you cannot get mad at me when I do, because I'm going to one up your offense. That's the only way you understand how serious it was.
That's crazy.
It's the only way
I'm
you
like-
understand. If he took a little jab, maybe we can talk about it in the back. But if you insult my wife in front of millions of people and
And see, my petty
It's a
so
sensitive
deep.
issue
I will
for
go
her.
on a whole. This is Chris Rock. I will have booked 3 HBO specials, and we're gonna just talk about this. Like this is
I'm
gonna be my
waiting on-
therapy.
I don't think he's going to
You know
do
how
that. I don't think that would
dude,
be
this is
smart
gonna be
to
my
do that.
therapy.
I'll be there. I'll be in the audience
Yeah.
laughing
Gym.
so
He gonna
loud.
go to the gym.
at all the
Literally
jokes.
after he left, he went to the gym with Dave Chappelle. He's drinking his protein shakes. His traps are gonna be off the chain. This man,
Yeah,
You
so-
know what he
so
not
here's
gonna
the
do
problem with
again?
that.
he
You
gonna
know
need a
what?
special
You know what Chris
trainer.
Rock not gonna do again? He not gonna let nobody walk up on him without
He
squaring
will
up
never lean
immediately.
in.
But
to
so hold
listen
on,
to
hold on.
nobody
They have to-
question.
Listen to what you're saying, though. Listen to what you're saying. He didn't address it when it actually happened, but he's going to address it later. What does that look like?
Saying no. I'm not
A comedian
I'm not
doing
saying
his
he
job?
gonna
No, that looks weaker
Listen,
than anything.
I'm not
disagree.
saying
Will
he's
could do
gonna
whatever he
address
wants
it
after the fact.
later.
Smack you in the face if you didn't say anything. You're going to go make jokes on another special?
Will could do whatever he wants. He
Will,
can talk
no,
about it the way he
I'm talking about
wants
Chris
to.
Rock.
And Will
talking
could
about
do
Chris
whatever
Rock.
he wants once he hears his show.
Why wouldn't I talk shit?
Because you already got embarrassed in front of
That's-
millions
that's
of
your
people.
job.
You really think it makes sense to go back down that route?
I think
It's
the
not
person
the same
embarrassed
thing
should
as
be
gonna
Will
happen.
Smith. I think the person embarrassed should be Will
because it's
Smith
not
for
gonna
his
go
behavior.
away. You gotta kind of
Listen,
say
this
something
is-
about it. Like you think that
We
man
did.
can have
Their
a special and
apologies
not
are
say
it.
nothing at all.
Their apologies are it. That's it. It's over.
This is what's gonna happen next.
So
over.
this
This
is
is
what's
what's gonna happen
ain't
next.
Gonna say not one joke about
He
it.
may allude to it, but if he does it like a special or something, that just
This is what's
it
gonna
ain't gonna
happen
make
next.
him look good. That's for damn sure.
Bad Boys 4 is gonna come out, and Officer Butters is gonna show up in Bad Boys 4. He's gonna transfer from LA to Miami and
That
have
would
to
be
partner
weak as-
up with Will Smith.
That would be weak as fuck. And ain't nobody watching that. Ain't nobody watching that. I will watch the Chris Rock
You
special.
need there to be more drama.
I will watch the Chris
can't
Rock
just be
special where he
squashed.
makes fun of him. I will not watch that movie. So, just gonna put that out there. So
We're in a
Janae
digital
said, "Are
world.
you guys cool with if Chris Rock had beat him up instead?"
Of
So
course.
if the tables were
Yeah.
turned.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, got no issue with it.
No
So
issue
Will
at
Smith
all.
goes up to him for disrespecting his wife and
Yeah.
he gets his ass beat.
Yes. Because sometimes that
What
dude
kind of
is-
chaotic world do we live
No,
in?
no, no. Sometimes you have
It's
to
the
do what you have to
principle.
do. It doesn't matter.
It's the
if you win.
principle of it. I get.
Yeah.
I get the principle of it.
Absolutely. That I have no issue
It's
with.
the principle of it.
To me, this
You're
is
not gonna
pure and
dis-
utter chaos.
You're not gonna disrespect me.
No.
You're allowed to defend yourself. Chris chose not to.
He chose not to.
He
He
chose
didn't
not
really
to.
choose not to. He didn't
Yes,
have
he
a
did.
chance
So
to.
you'd have had
Oh,
two
Chris
black men
chose
fighting
not
on
to.
live
Chris-
Absolutely.
he had
not.
chose-
Leaned back
he
and
had-
had his fist ball. Brooklyn showed up in Chris's face at that moment and he made a decision.
But you
let
gotta
it go.
keep in mind that he would have had to hit this man in the back. Them legs was gone.
Not
He would have had to like
You're trying to
sucker
make
punch
what
him
he
in
did
the
look
back.
weaker than it was.
He would
That's
have
not what happened.
had
is
to
not what
Spartacus
happened.
kiss that man, kick that man. He
That
would
is
have had
not
to
what
hit.
happened.
Just wouldn't have been a good look.
It would have just been all bad from there. Because, like I said, it would have been two black men
It wouldn't have been
brawling
a
on
good
live
look.
television.
I'll tell you what.
You're right.
And it was
Jeffrey,
just not a good
if
look.
you ever walk up on me fast, I don't care what I said. I'm getting ready. I'm not gonna
That's what I
assume
said.
You're gonna give me a
Right.
hug. Like
That's
you
what
walking up on the
Shantae said.
stage,
She said,
I know
never
the
gonna.
program.
He's never gonna
Right.
not be ready after.
I know the program. I know this is not in the program. What are we doing here? I'm stepping
Right.
He's
aside.
never gonna not be ready.
Chris
for
was like,
that.
oh, no.
No.
I would have
That's
squared
his
up.
fault too.
Yeah, I'd have squared up. It'd have been
It's all
both
his
fists would have
fault.
been bald, and come on. It'd have been
all
Della Reese
his
and
fault.
Harlem Nights. Come on.
In Chris's defense, he read that wrong. Like he knew Will Smith was gonna come up
No.
and say something to him, but
He's
he
a
literally
man.
thought he was leaning up. He thought he was about to say. He's
He's a
leaning
grown
forward.
man.
He thought he was about to say
Yeah,
something.
Chris
to
wasn't
him.
expecting to get smacked.
Like a grown adult man.
should
Say
have.
something respectfully
Right.
and
He
say,
did.
okay,
You're right. He should
I'm
have.
gonna see you in the
He
back.
should
I'm gonna
have.
do this and that.
Yeah, you're
He
right.
should
That's
have.
not
Should have.
going to happen.
He should have expected it. That's on
He
him.
was about to say something and leaned up for the slap. Like I
Live
he
at the
playing that
Oscars.
back.
Yeah.
Live at the
He's
Oscars,
playing
he
that
should have
back.
expected him to slap him in the face, Lord.
I would
This
should
have
have
been in that back
expected it.
row,
Rule and utter
cutting
chaos.
up. I
No,
would have been
completely
cutting up in the
disagree.
back. Nobody would have walked in the door.
This is nuts.
I saw a meme where it said Chris Rock is now on the phone trying to get in touch with Nino Brown, G Money, and Dutta Man to come handle this fool.
Yeah.
You don't need all of that to handle Will Smith.
He called Wesley Snipes. He called Wesley Snipes expeditiously.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all saw what Wesley was wearing at the Oscars, but he didn't look real tough.
I didn't see it. I didn't even watch.
It's terrible.
Look,
I
that
just saw
man,
that
that
part.
man is a black
Google
belt.
it.
He ain't got to look tough to kiss these hands. That is Blade. You gonna put
Right.
back on his name?
That is Blade. Pookie ain't got nothing on Blade, huh?
Don't know what you talking about. Let the little you.
All right, I think we're going
Oh,
in circles
man.
at this point. We could probably
Going
wrap
around
it up.
slapping folks.
We could probably
The
wrap
slap.
it up.
The slap was appropriate.
It was not. It was an overreach.
It
in
could be
the-
overreaction, but it's still
in
appropriate.
that setting, in my opinion, it was an overreach and overreaction, and they need to get over themselves. Those Smiths.
They already did.